Right, welcome everyone. It's good to see people taking a bit of interest in local council. Welcome to the West Wimmera Shire's April council meeting. If you'll please be standing. David, you can please read the acknowledgement and the prayer.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The West Wimmera Shire Council acknowledges the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet and pays respect to their elders past, present and emerging. Let us pray. Almighty God, we humbly ask your blessing upon this council, guide and prosper our decisions to the advancement of your glory and the true welfare of the people of West Wimmera Shire. Amen.
For 4.1 apologies.
Mr. Mayor, I've just, no apologies, but I've just received a request from Councillor Reeks to appear on the line today.
Is anyone prepared to move a motion to allow Councillor Reeks to?
I'm happy to. Thank you. I think there's something here, but yes, happy to allow Councillor Hicks to come in via Teams. Thank you.
Councillor Hoy, just seconding.
Yes.
No discussion required. That is carried. Do you have any leave of absence?
None, Mr. Mayor.
Are there any conflicts of interest from anyone on any items on the agenda? Right, we'll move to item 5.1, written questions on notice. Have we received any written questions on notice?
None, Mr. Mayor.
I think this is what everyone's here for. 5.2, verbal questions without notice. Just to be clear, council suspends their standing orders to do this. So this is a privilege. It's not here to be abused. It's not here to debate. It's not here to yell and kick and scream. It's here to ask questions of the council and we will try to answer. We only have 30 minutes allocated for this. If you have pressing matters that are on today's agenda, you probably want to get in early. Each person will be given 2 questions, and 2 questions only. You'll need to state your name and where you're from for the minutes as well. Is anyone here prepared to move that we suspend standing orders?
Moved.
Councillor Bretlove, seconded by Councillor Houlihan. Take that as carried. Right, who would like to go first then?
Very close, one liner.
Yep.
Now on page 23.2 that discusses the capacity of the site to sustain agricultural use. Now when we were first contacted by Robin Tucker, 14th of November, there was a 20 megalitre use discussed and that the water would be used within this limit. However, on the actual document, the page 283, it's discussing 30 megalitres. So just given that the local bores can historically only produce about 2,000 litres an hour, what protocols are in place to ensure that the required water is in fact obtainable prior to production without depleting the water table locally?
Yeah, okay. Now there's a couple of things here. Firstly, as a council, legally we aren't allowed to discuss planning matters that is not part of the debate. So I can't actually give you something, give a leading answer to that. But all I can sort of say is the water matters are handled by GWM Water. They are the licensing authority. They are the ones who do the assessments and they are the ones who issue the water licenses. Council has absolutely no say or role in that matter. And again, we understand your concerns and we're concerned as well. Like it's something we don't want to see anyone lose access to water, especially when we know what sort of year it is. But
Whether it's a typo or whether it's going to change. Perhaps you could answer this on then. What measures does the council intend to undertake if the water table does drop, thus impacting the water availability to nearby farming communities?
again, council is not authority on the water table. That's not actually a council matter. it's not right, I'm afraid. Any further questions?
I'd like to add to that.
If you could just say your name and where you're from, sorry.
Evangeline Close from Blair.
Yep.
You're saying it's a CMA matter. Would you be thoroughly confident before approving the project that CMA has researched the capacity of the bores and it's not likely to deplete local water sources, or is it just CMA deals with it?
GWM Water, it's their domain. Greg needs Wyndham Valley Water. They're the licensing authority. And again, we just have to take their advice that we cannot interfere in their area. Any further questions?
Sam Bell from Edenhope. Number one, what evidence has council gathered to come to the decision that outsourcing the local service of kindergarten, childcare, and maternal health be more profitable to West Wimmera Shire? That's the second question. I'll follow that too. Considering the dissatisfaction of the amalgamation with Grampians Health, what guarantees can council provide that the service delivery will be better after outsourcing all community services?
Thank you. What evidence of profitability? Again, council has made no decision at all on what we're doing in terms of providing childcare, maternal health, or anything else. Council at this stage has only looked at what options are available to them. So we are in the process of gathering evidence. We're in the process of assessing. We haven't made a decision. We haven't even got to the point where we've actually decided what a partnership even looks like. We weren't even ready yet to take it to the community because we're not going to do anything without community consultation. Council will not make a final decision without community consultation. What council is doing is we are exploring partnership options. And why we are doing that is because every time the childcare centre closes in Edenhope, I get phone calls saying this isn't good enough. We're not doing our job if we're not looking for opportunities. That's what we're here for. If you want us all just to sit on our hands and say, oh, well, too bad, it's all too hard, we can do that. But if you want us out there trying to find solutions, that's what we're here to do. And we're not going to do it without the community. When we think that there's something that actually looks positive, we are going to go to the community and we're going to see if they agree with us. And if they don't agree, then that's fine. Then that'll be the end of it. But that's where we're heading. Yes, Councillor Bretlove.
In this space, when this first and council first took this on was a pilot project, a pilot program, and I think it's delivered reasonably well, but I feel like the bit that's letting us down is not having enough staff. I don't know what causes that, but it seems to be the troublesome thing is we have to shut it down when staff are not available. So that's the troublesome thing. So if we can explore options to hopefully keep this service and open up further services around the Shire and be involved in something that can allow us access to more staff to make it more sustainable, I think it will be the best thing for the future myself, because I'm a mum. I know what it's like to get back in the workforce, and I just think I know that you can't have something that is inconsistent and not reliable. So it's about us exploring options to see if there's something a bit better out there so that young mums can get back in the workplace and have something reliable to support them. So I hope there's not the jump the gun here, because there's a lot of exploring to do. There's a lot of consultation to do, and I think together we can get a good outcome. So I just want to put that out there. I think it's a good space to be looking into to make sure that we've got something reliable, not just for Edenhope, not just for Coniva, but for places like group, for example. So, West Wimmera, we want it to be on the map. We wanted a place to live. And how do we get young families if we don't have something more reliable than what we have now? Thank you.
Ashley from Edenhope. Ashley McIntosh. In 2024, the Parent Advisory Group proposed a community working group to find a solution for the staffing issues at Edenhope Childcare Facility. One of the proposed ideas was to develop an incentive scheme to attract staff to the town. Grampians Health, Edenhope College and St Malachy's Primary School agreed to join. The council declined with no explanation. Why did the council refuse to engage with the community on this matter?
Again, we'll take that on notice and get back to you because I don't believe I know anything about that.
No, that's good.
My other question is, can we have a public meeting about the local services to West Wimmera Shire Council, kindergarten, childcare, maternal child health, so the community stakeholders can be engaged in the decision-making process and offer solutions to the staffing issues and other issues that are coming up?
Yeah, I've already had discussions with David about organising something like that. That's definitely in the works. Yeah. Yes, Danny, you've been patient for that.
Mr. Mayor, this is for you. In an interview with
name and location.
Sorry, Danny Grimley, Edenhope. In an interview with the ABC Wimmera Breakfast Program about the Edenhope Kinder, Childcare and Maternal Health Services, you said, and I quote, "People who are saying that it makes council money do not understand how to read budget figures." You later conceded to me privately there were indeed profits. So based on council budget papers, in 2022-23, council's kindergartens made a profit of $163,000. 23-24, they were forecast to make a profit of $278,000. 24-25, for some reason, the cost of kindergartens is forecast to increase by almost $200,000. And even still, with those predictions, $972,000 will be provided to council to run those kindergartens, and the expected profit is $240,000. The childcare side of things is forecast to make a $40,000 profit this financial year. In total, that means our kindergarten childcare services combined expect to make council $280,000 profit. Council is expected to receive $417,000 to deliver maternal and child health services, but only expects that to cost $217,000. That's another $200,000 profit. You suggested there were hidden costs, such as insurance, that reduce these profits to next to nothing. So I have two questions. My first question is, could council provide a clear breakdown of the income and expenditure associated with kindergarten, childcare and maternal health services in our shire, elucidating these hidden costs that are not included in our budget tables?
I would love to. I've been asking for that for 2 years myself, and then we as councillors don't get presented the full figures at times. So I'm more than prepared. If we can get those figures, we'll get them out to you. That's fine. But just keep this in mind, council's not here to make profit. There's lots of services we run at a loss, and we're fine with that. So we know that childcare, we get no subsidies for anything. It costs us money. We lose money on it. We're fine with that. It's not about profit. It's not about loss. That's not behind any of this. All we're looking at is opportunities that might get us a better outcome. If it's not going to be a better outcome, we're not going to do it. Simple as that.
That kind of leads into my next question. I suppose we're trying to figure out the key reasons for these decisions. You know, childcare might have caused some issues, but certainly our kindergartens and maternal health services have not, in terms of staffing, as far as we. So if these services are actually bringing profits to council, and outsourcing them wouldn't help with any of the financial issues that council has at the moment, could councillors please explain why this has come up as a proposal or something to even explore?
There's proposals that land on the table all the time. We had someone come to us with an offer, and we've just authorised our officers to go and explore that option. We haven't committed to anything. There's like when you talk about maternal health, there's actually probably a very low chance of any change there. Like probably no chance from what we're seeing already. But if somebody gives us something that comes to us, we've got to look at it. We're not doing our jobs if we don't look at it. sometimes that means we have to authorise council officers to open the books. That has to be done in confidential. I know that what's creates all these conspiracies and rumours, and it doesn't help us. I know everyone wants everything to be transparent, but under the Local Government Act, when we do that, it has to be done in confidential. We've tried to explain what is going on, but there's still a lot of wild conspiracies getting around, and that's not helping either. Right, any other questions? Yep.
Sully Galambus from Harrow. Just in relation to the piggery, Mayor, I'm just wanting to ask in regards to the proximity of residential houses close to this piggery, in terms of quarantine for piggeries, what are the implications there for the residents? Will they be prohibited from keeping poultry and their own pigs, or and in terms of the workers that work at these piggeries are required to undertake certain vaccinations or whatever? What does that mean for the workers that are working in proximity to this piggery as well?
Yeah, again, I don't have the answers at my hand. Brendan, are you able to offer any advice on that? So I'll have to take that on notice, I'm afraid, but yeah.
Shirley Schmidt, I've got a question about the piggery at Wombalana too. Our concern is about groundwater supply and quality. If you are confident that granting this permit won't affect our water supply in the future, you would not object to a clause being put in the permit. The permit can be revoked if it affects our water supply or quality in any way. Can this be done?
Again, council may put something like that in that, but it may not be enforceable. Because like I said, council doesn't have the authority to actually enforce that.
Who does?
GWM Water. They're the agency who manage water licensing and in charge of that area. It also goes back to the department themselves.
Yeah, so
But it's like we can't go and set a speed limit on the
no,
highway. Like as much as
No.
we'd like to at times, we're not allowed to.
Yeah, Gary Dickerson, Marja Lake. In regards to the piggery, just wondering, has council sort of fulfilled all their obligations, letting all neighbours know, because we do border some of that proposed land there, and yeah, there is a covenant on the back half of our land. Does that play a part in that at all? Have you taken that into account, trusting in nature?
Whether they've been consulted in this, again, I couldn't answer that one.
And the fencing as well,
yeah,
on that.
Look, I believe council officers have been out there and had several meetings and have been quite productive. So I think the consultation process has been quite good.
Well, I did attend the meeting at the Chatham Hall, and I was assured that the fences are very good condition, and we've got sheep going across them fences probably as we speak today, so they're not as good as we were told. So.
Yeah. Again, is that in the permit conditions on the fences?
There's requirements for them to fence certain areas and have buffer zones.
Yeah.
I would have to take on notice.
Yeah.
Have a reread.
I do have
Yeah.
Edward online.
I was going to say it's a lot of pages, and I've read it. No, I just can't think of it. Yeah, if Edmund's there and available, he's able to answer that.
Have Trust for Nature actually been notified of the piggery next door? Do you know?
Again, I couldn't tell you that.
Yeah.
I don't know who the officers were going to.
We go off the defined ownership of the property, so we aren't necessarily aware of secondary arrangements.
Yeah, that's all right. It gets complicated if it's something is subleased and it's not actually in a registered system somewhere. It's hard to contact someone.
No, it's not a lease, is it? It's
Oh, it's a company. Yeah.
So we got the title information, the title owners of the property.
Yeah, but if it's not recorded on the title and who to contact, then it'd be difficult for council to know who to contact.
right. Look, that's
Edwin is all owners are notified.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
So even in cases like this where a property has a covenant on it, if the owner is notified, it's probably their responsibility to let the person with the covenant know. That would be probably be the proper standing in something like that. But again, we'll take that on notice.
Just
Yes, go
Charlie
ahead.
Perry from Canada. Just all owners being notified, you pricked my ears there. When you decided to look at the options of the workers' accommodation on the Canada Common, I'm led to believe that not all owners were advised that that was about to take place. That's just a statement. Second question, first one's a statement. Second question, where are we with the grant application, and is there a date that the Shire is expecting the grant to be decided so we can put to rest some of our issues with the Canida Common?
Yeah, but again, I've had a conflict of interest on this matter, so I can't go into the details, but I know the application has gone in and they're expecting the result by middle of May at this stage. Is when we are expecting to hear something. But with the election happening and everything, anything can change.
Also on a different matter, just while I was here, the kindergarten thing, you said you would look at something as long as it provided a better outcome. Now, finance obviously isn't a better outcome because you've already decided that that's not. What is the better outcome? Can council describe to me in words what the better outcome would look like to the average rate?
Yep, we're looking for a more reliable service. We're looking for expanded services. And in the future, where we're going to have 3-year-old kinder and 4-year-old kinder on the cards, we're going to also be under increased pressure. So we've got to be able to be prepared to face that as well. So that's the outcomes that we're looking at. That's our goals.
That's good. I'm not looking at making any more kids for kinder, so really happy with that outcome.
Yeah. Yes, Monica.
Monica Fader, Lillimar. Are council aware that after 6 months with another agency, our maternal and child health and kinder staff can have their work conditions changed, including change of pay rate and hours? It's often called restructuring. This could make the difference between them staying in the community or having to move on where they get better paying conditions. Will staff be included in the consultation process?
Yep, that is great news to know, and that's something that we will weigh up in our evaluation going forward. And again, that's, like I said, it's not something that we see possibly even happening at this stage. So that is another thing to keep in mind.
But you didn't answer the question. Will staff be included? Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Yep, Mr. Mayor, the staff is already included in it because that's why the meeting was confidential, so that we can first go and speak with staff before we go out to the community. So yes, staff is definitely sort of included in that whole process, going through that whole process.
My second question is, in 2003, the 3 Shire kinders were clustered together, and when Uniting Wimmera took over the management with the promise of making things easier for parents and staff, in less than 3 years, the agency took the kinders committee's money and their voice and their control. The Shire helped bring back the kinders to once again being managed by the locals. Can the current Shire learn from history that management from Horsham only weakens local services?
Yep, and that's something else we can take on board. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Kirrilly Wallace, Edenhope. What is council doing to advocate state and federal government support for the childcare services in our Shire?
Yep, those activities are always ongoing. Every opportunity we have, we raise it at every level. There seems to be a reluctance on all levels of government, and you can say us as well, even though we're the ones who have made the commitment and got a service running, but everyone just points the finger at each other saying, well, we don't want to be the ones who have to be the ultimate responsibility. It's going to need some courage from someone at one level of government to say, we've got to step in and take over this and run this. It's the only way that's going to ever work. And that's part of what we talk to them about. We try and say what they're doing is not working. And you know, we show them the real life, the impacts that it has. When we didn't have childcare, how terrible things were. Since we got childcare running, what a blessing it's been. We know the impact it has. We are here to try and make things better. And part of that is going to the other powers that be, and that's hard. They don't necessarily listen either to us. So we try. Yeah. Oh, hang on, Councillor Brett.
Just to that, I just think that, our job as council is to, it's not our job to sit on our hands and do nothing. And I think when things, proposals come to us, we actually have to consider them. I think it's our job to do that for the future of our Shire, for the future of for young families. They keep evolving. This group, will be at the next stage. There'll be another lot come through. So we have to, it's our job to actually weigh things up and have the best outcomes. And I think the biggest thing here is having a reliable service. And with the right people, of course. They have to be trained in the area. That's what we're looking at. So I actually think it's a very positive thing to be able to weigh up and consider and work out the best options. So I really hope that we have the consent and are allowed to do that. I think it's really is the role of improving things, adapting and moving forward. So I know it's good to have the childcare, but it's not good when it has to shut, you know, and due to staffing seems to be the biggest issue. Thank you.
Yeah, second question.
Council has pointed to staff issues as a major reason to outsource Edenhope's kindergarten and childcare services. Over the past few years, there's been a list of staff leave the service. Why is council staff turnover so high?
Again, wants to take that on notice. That's not something I could possibly know. But look, we are looking at every single thing we can do to attract more staff. We even, as you may know, we have a housing proposal in with smaller housing that we are looking to even house staff. Like we are trying every option we can. And we need that grant money rolling in to help get these things off the ground as well. No, you've already had two guys.
I thought I've only had one.
Okay, yeah, right.
Yeah, Gary Dickinson, Module Lake. Just when you councillors are taking into, you know, consideration about this permit for the piggery at Montaleno, the 250 metre exclusion zone from local property, like Greg Hanson, you know, it's not that far, is it? I don't know that I want my house 250 metres east of a piggery. And I think that's something that you all need to have a think about.
Yeah,
that's a state.
Yeah, well.
Lynn Hartle, Edenhope. I just want to come back to something you said, Mr. Mayor, about councillors only exploring options. Can you confirm then why a revised budget was prepared and approved for the reduction in significant staffing? That really relates to childcare staff.
I think whoever put that budget together got ahead of themselves a bit, and again, it was picked up by councillors in discussions. We didn't think that that's probably how we should put the forecast out as. They were only at forecast figures. We didn't have time to redo it. To pass that revision, again, we have not set our budget for next year. What you saw in those forecast figures was pretty much just a quick rough and ready where when those figures were getting drawn up, I don't know why they done that, but they did. We didn't have time on our hands to go back and redo them. So they are not the figures we're going to go with going forward.
So just to clarify, those approved figures as the revised budget are not actually the approved figures for the revised budget.
The figures you're seeing are the forecast figures that show the directions. We haven't set next year's budget yet. When we set next year's budget, that's where you'll see the figures.
The second question, will council still be applying for a $5 million loan as agreed in the same paper?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just
Up to
$5.
five. No, because that's two separate things altogether. That's an up to $5,000 loan, up to $5 million as needed. We're hoping that's not going to be anywhere near that. Did you ask two questions, Danny?
I think so.
I think you did.
It doesn't matter because it's revised, so go ahead.
No, actually, we're at time anyway, so we've got to keep moving. Okay, Brian, this will be the last one.
About piggery, I'm Brian Post from Montaleno. The previous attempt to establish a piggery was ditched a few years ago due to public backlash. This time it's a little bit different. The business plan, purpose of establishing the piggery is largely enables the continuous cropping of the property and its inevitable chemical use, noise and dust to further add to the health risks and general discomfort of local residents do the councillors think that it's appropriate to grant approval for this application.
Yeah, and again, we can't answer that directly because it's a planning matter in this forum. But again, we will take that on board when we discuss the application later on. Right, thank you all for your questions.
Alan Dickerson, Nigel Lake. When will this plan be finalised regarding the piggery?
The planning application's on today's agenda.
Right, and when does it come to fruition?
Well, we'll issue or not issue the planning permit today, depending on the outcome.
Notice of decision to issue.
Yeah.
And it's subject to appeal rights.
That's right. It can be appealed and
So by the time the sun goes down, there'll be a decision.
it won't be a final, and there'll still be an opportunity to appeal it.
From both applicants and the objectors.
Yeah, from all parties.
Both sides.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's not set in stone. Nothing ever is. So, yeah. Okay, thank you all. Is anyone prepared to resume standing orders? Moved by Councillor Pritloff, seconded by Councillor Hick. Forehand. All in favour, that is carried. We'll move to our delegates' reports. Item 6.1, I'll take mine there.
If everybody wants to stay, they're welcome, but,
Yeah, it's a good point.
if you want to give an opportunity to.
Anyone would actually like to take a leave or just to join the meeting for 5 minutes? Yeah, we'll resume standing orders.
Just
Yes, has anyone answered the online questions that were submitted? Through the Facebook where you could go in and submit to answer the questions?
Yeah, they'll,
in a timely fashion or?
well, they will come to council for review.
Yeah.
So we'll see those, but did you actually ask to have a response?
Yeah, I did.
We'll have a look and see.
No worries.
Yeah, sure.